like philosophers and neuroscientists. Sam Harris, I found Sam Harris. I found Christopher Hitchens, and I was like,
there any moment in your life that was like
Richard Dawkins
pivotal?
It was specific. When I was 17, we moved because my dad got laid off from his job, like in 2008 during the big fucking financial crisis or whatever. He lost his job and he was unemployed for like 2 years. And we had to move home, or to his hometown where they still live now. Yeah. And I was in the basement, like, and my dad had like a big job interview, and he already had 2 big job interviews that didn't go for him. And I was like, surely this is it, because it's been so long since he's been out of a job and he should get this. And I was like thinking subtext, like, God will definitely give it. Yeah, you're this thinking he like deserves this. Yes, of anyone who deserved, like, because I just knew who he was, and I knew who was other people who were getting jobs who were just not as needing a job as he did. Yeah, because he had a large family, and it had just been so long, and we'd been through so much fucking shit. And I went downstairs and, like, prayed a rosary, and I was like, oh, he's just locked in. Like, this is definitely going to happen.
Cheat code.
Exactly. I was like,
R2,
this,
R2, L1,
this is all he needs. This is all he needs because...
You put that rosary in the drawer, and you're like, you're welcome, Dad.
Yeah.
It's like...
I didn't actually say that, but in my head, I was like, of course this is going to happen. I was like, 17.
Damn.
And, no, I was...
That's like... Fucking
you don't
understand it.
I understand how deeply inculcated it is in my family. Anyway,
it's funny. You listen to Pete Holmes regularly.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can directly relate me to Pete.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I always think of. Yeah. When the first time I heard it, I was like, oh, that's just like Andrew.
Yeah. But he the next day didn't get the job, and I remember being in the car talking to my mom. She was like, yeah, Dad didn't get the job, so don't. Try not to mention it too much. I was like, he didn't get it.
But I fucking sent myself under a stamped envelope to God.
I didn't tell her at the moment because I already had like this just steaming doubt in my head. But I was like, how can this be? Yeah. How can we have this bad luck and still be religious? And my mom was just like, I mean, you can't really question. I was just like, no. How can this be happening to us? We're good people, and nothing good has happened to us forever, ever. And I was just like, because it was also where my family's positioned in my other families.
I hadn't
read.
Drew just saw what the coffee cup says. I handed it to you and said that's the dumbest joke we have on the
I didn't even hear you say that.
Wow, that's hilarious.
Anyways, Andrew.
My other families, like, I have, like, 20 other families. Yeah. Like, my mom's one of, like, 10 plus. My dad's one of 10 plus, yeah. Mm-hmm. They all had pretty successful jobs at that time too, and I was just like, I was just feeling that social status like really heavily too.
Yeah, and you have a huge family as well. Your parents have a lot on their plate to take care of.
And I was just like, why is it that they all are just totally fine and we're struggling hard, hard, and it just dawned on me one day. I was like, okay, maybe there is this like non-controlling force that is just completely random. And I was like, then why wouldn't God have control of that? And then I was like, oh wait, no, there is. You had all. It doesn't make sense. Like, there's no Santa Claus. There's no God. It just like somehow all just started steamrolling for me. I was like, oh my God. And then I started talking to like 2 of my friends who were already like atheists, but they just didn't talk about it to me because I guess they're trying to be. No. They were from Cincinnati. Okay. Where I moved from. They must have never talked about it just because they were trying to be respectful or whatever. Yeah. But they were just like, yeah, none of that's real, right? And I was, that shit's fake. I was like, elaborate. And then they just made 2 points. I forget what those points were, but they only had to say 2. They only had to say 2 very specific things, and I was just like, oh, okay. Uh-huh. And then later, it was just, I never looked back. Huh. It all made fucking sense after that.
I had a different experience, but I do remember specifically there's a point where I would ask for things, and then there was a point where I was like, fuck it, I can't even think, like, what am I supposed to do?
Ask,
there is no God.
Pray to God for things.
Not all of them were selfish, but I was a kid. Right. A lot of them were selfish. Like, I need that PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I went to Catholic school, and I remember in like 7th grade, we had a very conservative religion teacher. Well, luckily, where I grew up, a lot of these teachers were not very conservative. That's why I think I was more open-minded.
That's good.
We were learning about the Eucharist, and she said that is like what the Catholics ceremonially believe is the body and blood of Christ.
Yes.
The ceremony at the end of Mass.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
the reincarnation.
The Jesus.
That like the heart of like Catholic beliefs is that we literally believe the Eucharist is the body and blood of Christ. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking,
you bought these crackers, though.
Well, I remember thinking, like, but do you know what literally means?
Yeah.
Are you doing, like, one of those exaggerating, like...
Technically, literally means it was written down, so...
Oh, that's... Well, okay.
But that's not what...
That's
you told me that. It fucking blew my mind.
But anyways, we talked about it, and she was like, well, you just have to have faith that these have actually transformed into the body and blood of Christ.
Yeah.
And that was, like, a big... turning point.
Oh, this is some voodoo shit.
I started not to believe in the Catholic God, and then over time I started to not believe in any like organized religion.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, maybe none of it.
Yeah, exactly.
You just like take steps back. That was what my experience was like.
Oh, I just remembered one of the points that my friend just threw out there to like really throw me off the deep end. He was just like, do you know the God Allah? And I was just like, yeah, the Muslims believe in Allah. And he was just like...
No, that's God.
He's like, yeah, that's exactly the same as God, and you don't believe in him, right? And I was like, of course not. He doesn't exist. And I was like, like, he got those words out of me, and for some other God, and I was just like, that they would think that that means it's equally valid.
You could even say there's more people that legitimately believe in this one instead of yours.
Yeah. I was just like, fuck. Yeah. And then he was like, and all the evidence that they believe it on is the same exact as yours, which is none.
It's the same book.
And it's the same book. And we did get taught, even in Catholic school, that the religion Judaism is like
it's the first half
split
of the Bible.
off. Yeah, is like the original.
It's the Old Testament.
Is the original. I was like, then why aren't we Jews? And then
they
were like,
Jesus was a Jew. We're all Jews.
It was like 2 sons of Abraham. One was the farthest descendant for the religion of Islam. He left the tent of Abraham and went into some unknown journey, and that's why they just never talk about it.
Well, there was a lesser known third son of Abraham. His name was Bruce Wayne.
What? Wait, did Abraham get shot in the alley?
It's the hair club for Bruce Wayne. Hair club for Bruce Wayne. We watch the Bruce Wayne 'cause it's hair club for movies.
Welcome to the Hair Club for Movies. My name is Michael.
My name is Drew.
I've never been that taken aback that we've started. You just said Bruce Wayne, and I was like, oh, damn it.
What's your name?
Bruce Wayne.
That's Bruce Wayne.
This week we watched Batman Forever.
Batman Forever.
The 1995 Joel Schumacher
classic. A Joel Schumacher joint. You guys know what Joel Schumacher means in German?
Shoemaker.
Nope.
That's my only guess.
No,
I don't either.
Oh, okay.
It's probably Shoemaker.
On paper, that would have looked exactly like you were asking us.
It's probably Shoemaker.
Yeah.
You said it.
Literally, it looked like, right? Isn't that literally on paper?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, that was a really, starting off heavy with the fucking God talk.
I thought we were going to, that's why I thought we were going to, like, talk about something lighter before we went in.
Fuck it.
I was in the other room for a second, and I heard Andrew talking about how he lost his religion, and I ran over and hit the record button.
You fucking... As long as you don't start it, fuck it. Anyway.
Whatever.
I'll get drive-through.
Okay, wait.
I'll get drive-through.
What year is this movie from?
95.
95.
I'll get drive-through.
What?
Andrew, you got to give the synopsis.
Oh, God.
So we all know Batman.
Okay.
And I get this mixed up with Batman and Robin.
Because
we've talked about this. The night I watched it, I had to go back and listen to the old podcast to make
see
sure.
which one. Yeah,
So shit, I don't want to watch the wrong dumb Batman.
I get
No, I did. I put all my chips in. I was like, he mentioned Jim Carrey, so I'm just gonna watch the one with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
It seems like this one should be called Batman and Robin, and then the next one should be Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't,
Probably.
whatever, but that's
Anyway, the synopsis. Batman just swings into a bank heist, finds Two-Face, doesn't catch Two-Face.
doesn't catch him.
Then he goes back and hits on Nicole Kidman, and then he sees
who plays Chase Meridian.
Chase Meridian.
and
The dumbest.
completely-
I know it's a comic book name.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
terrible.
Completely fake and doesn't exist, and
then he goes on.
There's so many characters in the Batman.
There's always
world.
a love
Why-
interest in Batman,
Yeah.
and
They
that's
could have
fucking
brought in
annoying to me.
anybody from the comics. It's been around.
I'm
for
glad
so
they
long.
didn't. I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, and like destroy that character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then he goes on a date with Chase Meridian, and then he sees Two-Face again, and then
At the circus.
yeah, and then
And
then he
knew?
leaves, and he's like, "Oh, that dude was hot. I should fucking I should ask
You
him."
missed the whole point where Robin's parents died. His whole family died at the circus by Two-Face.
There was a very, I shouldn't say unbelievable, the whole movie, but where
what do you mean?
he's got a bomb hanging in the middle of the circus, and the acrobat family,
Yeah.
the flying, you know this, right?
Why were they
Graysons, the flying
I can't
Graysons.
The flying
believe
Graysons.
I can't believe that we were really supposed to believe that they were all wearing those costumes. I was like, why are
Listen.
they all wearing Robin costumes? And then it's like,
No, that's supposed to be the costume they wore. But
I get that.
was inspired
I get that, but like, wow, they couldn't have
If
fucking.
that is
What's
the
the word
fucking
for that?
thing you're getting hung up on this movie, then
No, I'm not getting. I got hung up on a lot of shit.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
like, since we're talking about it already,
Yeah.
what the fuck are they really supposed to believe?
I
that,
think
like,
they're just trying to pay, they're just trying real
They-
hard to be like wink wink nudge nudge, don't you recognize this
I
costume?
know, but like, it's so unbelievable.
Everything's just so fucking heavy handed.
Yeah, that's the right word. That's what I was looking
It's just-
for. Heavy-handed. That
They took the contrast on the
That's like
Photoshop
they-
filter and just turned it all the way to 11.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine opposite? Like Batman is like figuring out what he's gonna wear to be Batman, and all of a sudden he goes to the circus, and there's just a bunch of people running around in Batman
Well,
outfits.
actually,
and he's like, "Oh, yes."
That's it.
That's what it seemed like to
in
me.
the
It was just
comics,
like,
though, like there are versions where, like when his parents get shot, they're leaving a play or a movie.
yeah, and
or
Nolan's.
whatever.
It made so much sense.
Well, in some of them it was Deflator Mouse. There's a play called Deflator Mouse, which it means the
German,
bat,
yeah.
the bat. I think that's what it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Defluter mouse.
whatever.
Yeah.
Deflator Mouse.
Yeah,
Deflator, man.
we're saying
I
that.
know
We're saying
that-
that
I
really
only-
wrong, but
I only know
like
that.
techno
I know
band.
that specific reference because they talk about it in Clerks or something. They just mention that because it's an homage to Batman. Anyway,
Yeah.
there's that, and it's about Bat, and or another one.
It
It's
translates
Zorro.
literally to The Bat. It's an operetta
Yeah.
composed by Johann Strauss II.
There you
to
go.
a German libretto.
Yeah, but
I'm not going to keep on.
in another,
wait,
in another
Deflator.
Deflator Mouse,
No, wait. Let me read it.
Flying
Deflator
mouse.
I just have this.
a flying mouse, Deflator Mouse. It's a
Defluter
German.
mouse. That's not. You're saying.
Flater? Is it Fluter?
Well,
How do you
look.
spell it? Let me see.
wait.
I actually
says-
love
took
that.
3 years of
I love
German.
that song, and when you were saying it, I was like, "Are you talking about?"
Deflator Mouse. Yeah, Flater. Deflator Mouse.
That's not how you pronounce
Can
it.
we
Hit the
continue-
hit the
can
fucking
we
Wikipedia
continue?
pronunciation ass shit and see who's right, you little bitch.
I don't see it on there.
Ludermas. That's
Oh wait,
probably
bitch.
how it's
Anyway, in the other one, in another version, they're seeing Zorro, which are both like
Yeah.
references to
Isn't
his
that
costume
what it was
later
in
on.
this one?
I don't think they say. They just keep showing flashes of pearls and
bat.
flowers and a bat.
Yeah, that I was just
The
like,
bat flying towards the camera.
It's like, man,
kind
they
of a
must
dope
have-
image because they ripped that image straight from I think it's Dark Knight Returns or something. Maybe
was-
year one.
It was cool, the image, but like they kept going back to it. I was just like,
Like that's
did
all.
they really?
That's all he thinks of. in
Yeah,
his mind,
just
yeah.
a fucking.
Shut up. Flater. Flater mouse.
You're saying mouse.
Mouse. Yeah, mouse. M-A-U-S. Mouse.
Oh my god.
Mouse.
Okay, well, please,
Anyway.
we're in
You're
the middle
fucking
of the synopsis here.
mother.
Like I said,
Frick!
I'm just saying I love Strauss, and I've listened to most of his music.
Go on.
And anyway, okay, so after the circus, he
Grayson's
goes.
died.
he shows Grayson a motorcycle, and he's like okay with his parents being dead all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then he does his laundry, and then they go out and fight.
He does his laundry really cool.
I gotta say that I made a note about the laundry scene.
Yeah.
I said that scene with Robin doing his laundry is the dumbest shit.
I can't
When we were watching it,
there was a light guitar solo.
yeah, it's like
the whole
it's just
thing.
like bow, bow,
Well, we
bow.
should, so Alfred catches Robin doing his own laundry and says something like, "I'll do that for you, Master, whatever."
Grayson.
his real name is."
Master Grayson.
Master
And,
Dick. He calls him Master Dick, I think, which is fucking
And
great.
then he's like, "Don't worry, I got this, Alfred. I'm gonna make it look real cool." And he like whips everything around. He turns him to ring him out. He like spins him around and
Kung fu
really
flips and
action.
Which, can you imagine if that scene had no music? It really wouldn't have looked cool, even though he was doing it impossibly. It
Yeah.
would have looked so fucking lame. Well, I mean, it did. It's just, it would have been punctuated how lame this
The
is.
thing is, though, that scene would have been if this was like one of the like a crazy kung fu movie. Like from that scene would have fit in perfectly, and no one would have if they already set up this kind of. You know, like that.
You're right. That does
You know
kind of
what I'm
belong
saying?
in a kung fu
Like even
movie.
in like a Bruce Lee movie, that would have been
Yeah.
like, oh shit, that dude's just like a
Fuck
crazy.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just seemed it was just so like fuck you.
Yeah.
When we were watching this,
Yeah.
Becca was like. Literally kept saying, like, is this for real? Is
Yeah.
this fucking for real?
Yeah.
Is this really happening? Like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
This movie was so bad that after the first 20 minutes, I found something else to do while I was watching it. Where I was
yeah, I mean,
listening
it's
to
not
it and
like-
looking back every once in a while.
you
I was
know,
just
it
like,
was-
fuck this.
This movie for me bordered between being so bad it wasn't fun to watch and being bad enough it was fun to watch.
Yeah. And
You
when
know,
Jim Carrey's on the screen, like,
It was nice
Yeah.
when Jim Carrey was on
I
the
gotta
screen,
say,
but
Tommy Lee Jones was just horrendous.
Yeah.
Like that.
the worst Tommy Lee Jones. Okay, whatever. Batman's Batman.
I have a note
and
about that,
Fucking
actually.
Two-Face and the Riddler.
Well, yeah, in the end,
blah, blah, blah.
we
Batman
did not get-
wins.
The Riddler like sucks brainwaves from people. He's a mad scientist.
Yeah.
Becomes crazy because of that. He takes over the whole city by like projecting these brainwave
Sucking their
suckers
brains.
from their TVs, which is a
Yeah.
metaphor for something.
Oh,
I can't
yeah,
figure
who
that out.
knows?
I mean,
Who knows what they're trying to say?
I mean, if you want to read into that, you could totally read into like people being sucked into their devices and TV.
No,
was-
we're saying that, again, it's
being
hammer-fisted.
sarcastic.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, I was like, "That's." The
Oh, yeah,
thing.
you thought it was super deep when you were a kid.
Dude, yeah. When I was a kid, I was like, "This is fucked up."
Yeah.
And then after the
break
Riddler
it
gets his
down.
head all fucked, he's like gets
Yeah.
his brain. He looks kind of fucked up and
It was
scary.
cool.
It was a little offensive.
That was cool.
I gotta say.
Because of people with elephantiasis look like that.
Yeah, the elephant people.
Elephant man.
The elephant people.
Elephantiasis.
There are a whole group of people. One of my notes is, I guess I could summate this movie with just this. This movie assumes we think all of this useless shit is cool.
Yeah.
It assumes, like, they're just throwing shit at us,
Yeah.
thinking that, like, oh, of course they're gonna think this is cool, so...
Because it's Batman.
Yeah, and it's like,
Well, the
no,
thing
we
is,
don't.
like, when I was a kid,
Uh-huh.
I thought this movie was fucking awesome.
I thought it was pretty cool when I was a
So,
kid.
and I had
I had
all the
movies like
toys. My mom still has my Two-Face and Riddler glass mugs from Burger King or whatever.
yeah.
Which, dope. This whole movie was just a marketing...
Yeah.
Like when Batman has the costume change into his stupid fucking lame-ass fucking silver-ass bat suit.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck you gonna be stealth in that little bitch?
Yeah, black is kind of...
How you gonna hide in the
ultimate-
shadows?
I read in the trivia
When you're
that
sparkling.
the costumes Joel Schumacher said at some point were inspired by Roman
Statues, yeah.
like
That's why
gods.
they have abs and nipples and
Wait a minute.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I thought Tim Burton made this? What
No,
did you
No,
say?
Joel
Schumacher.
Schumacher backed out because it got off.
I saw his
He
name on
produced it
though.
because he basically put so much money into it at the point that he got taken off of it because they didn't like where he was going with it. It was going to
Okay.
be way even darker than fucking Batman
Yeah.
Returns.
Okay.
And like Damon Wayans was supposed to be Robin for the story he had.
Wow, Damon
And-
Wayans, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But like, dude,
Yeah.
Batman Returns is probably still Nolan movies aside because like
They're
fine.
different. They're totally different.
Totally
honestly.
different.
They're-
But the Batman Returns is the best interpretation of Batman to me. Have you seen Batman Returns?
From like a
seen
comic book ass.
That's like the perfect comic book. Perfect.
Wait, you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen Batman Returns.
It's the best one.
That's what.
Yeah.
That's
Danny
still
DeVito, Michelle Pfeiffer, Michael Keaton.
That you're right. I was about to say that would be the best one because I always thought that Danny DeVito was like the perfect fucking penguin. They could never be better.
Michelle Pfeiffer is the perfect Catwoman too.
Yeah,
like everything about that.
When I think of Catwoman, I think of that.
Michael Keaton is the best. Is my favorite Bruce Wayne probably still.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Because the Bruce Wayne that he plays is totally different. He's like charming still, and like
he does have
jokes.
the charm. Yeah.
Ben Affleck. I mean, for whatever shit he's gotten, I love Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
More than
you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Because he's like smarmy fucking Ben Affleck character,
and he
that's
also
exactly who Bruce Wayne could
no. Actually,
because he's not actually that guy.
He's not super schmarmy. He like the scene when he's talking to Superman at Lex Luthor's party.
Oh yeah,
we're talking about
if
Batman
we start talking. If we do this again,
we're just
we can just highlight.
It's just a quick point.
It's like bottled rage.
Yeah, exactly. He really did rage. Sort of have
his jaw's like shut, and he's like barely like keeping it.
I was about to say he's kind of like he's giving a tell to Superman.
All right, that's good. That's enough.
Shut
yeah.
up. We're actually talking about Batman, so it matters.
But that's a
if
movie
you've seen The Town or anything Ben Affleck's good in, which is pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know why people shit on him because he's a great actor.
People shit on him because of I guess his political views. I do too.
What are his political views?
I don't know. There was that interview. He had that. No.
I would just.
He had that interview on Bill Maher that like really just cemented. I don't like this guy.
What did he say about him? What did he say?
He had an argument with someone who I really respect.
But what was the?
It was between is like Islam a violent religion or not? And Ben Affleck was like being super liberal and saying, "How dare you?" Talk shit about
I remember that
about Islam. You're insulting a million Muslims or whatever. He was doing all that bullshit, and Sam Harris is just like, I'm trying to talk about what they're doing and the excessive violence that is in this community, and he was they just
that's fine.
His statements were misconstrued as blanket statements where he's really talking about like a cultural.
He's trying to talk about ideas and shit, and I think trying to smear him.
But still, I think.
But that was just one moment.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm sure he's a good.
Yeah. Soundbite bullshit. Whatever.
Yeah,
that isn't someone love as a person.
Anyway, I'm gonna get.
Sorry, Ben.
Honestly, there's a lot of artists that we've talked about that are just assholes, but I don't think it matters.
It doesn't matter. No, I still enjoy their work.
I mean, I'm not gonna defend people, but.
I still enjoy their work.
I won't defend them in any way, but
I'll still watch the Cosby Show. I mean,
that Cosby. That's a joke, right?
I haven't watched the Cosby Show. No,
I never liked Bill Cosby. I don't whatever, but
you can't say that.
I
can't say you've never liked Bill Cosby.
The Cosby stuff is really rude.
That's different.
I completely agree.
Because of the character that he was playing was like a father figure to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As opposed to like Woody Allen, because like. He did some
who he was.
He did some fucked up shit too, but like it's like a filmmaker. It's like Roman Polanski. It's like
those are the two I think of. Like, of course, they're fucking assholes.
Or like John Lennon.
They did horrible things,
but Dr. Martin Luther King was a fucking womanizer. Or no,
that doesn't mean he's a bad person.
Well, but I'm just
sort of.
Yeah, it does.
What do you mean?
He just abuses women. That doesn't mean he's a bad person.
Abuses women. That womanizer equals abuses women.
No, he just like was a philanderer or whatever. But the point I'm trying to make.
Gandhi.
Exactly.
You had to get your nut off, dude.
That's what I'm saying. The point I'm trying to make is like.
Wait, are you saying Gandhi was a womanizer too?
No, Gandhi. You heard the same. This from the same place I heard this.
Okay, yes, but every guru, at some point, is trying to like.
All I'm trying to say is humans are human, and everybody's flawed. Is what I'm trying to say. So no matter what, people are. If you like go, you aspire to greatness, like your humanity will bleed through no matter what.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, I don't remember what we were talking about to get us on.
Well,
we're
talking about Ben Affleck.
Yeah, Ben Affleck. Okay.
And then let's reverse engineer this. We were talking about Affleck. We were talking about Batman. How serious it was.
Michael
you were talking
Keaton,
about
my
Michael
favorite
Keaton.
one. Yeah. Michael Keaton.
How he still had the charm, and he still had.
But he like kind of solidified who Batman was too. He's important because up until then it was like Adam West and like.
Oh yeah. Super.
That's it. Just the comic, but he's important because if it weren't for his interpretation of movie Batman, visual human Batman, then somebody else would have done it, and we would have a completely different.
You're right. It probably would have snowballed from the.
And absolutely, because it did.
Yeah.
I mean, the Batman voice. No one had ever. Adam West talked in the same voice as he did all the time.
Yeah.
And before that, it was like
and
a
he
silent
took a big
movie.
risk. The filmmakers did too.
Yeah.
That could have been totally missed.
Yeah, and it's written, but like, how are you supposed to know his voice changes?
Yeah.
You know, I don't think they ever referenced it until afterwards. Maybe I'm wrong, but
one of my notes is Christopher Nolan did so much for Batman based on this movie. Because wasn't this the last Batman movie?
No, the Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin was
Batman and
right
Robin.
after.
Shit, yeah.
Wasn't that worse than this?
They're both really
Equally
I would
that's what I'm trying to say is like he went
definitely
from
say-
that one's got Uma Thurman and
Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
Okay.
That one is the worst one.
Is the worst one?
Is the worst one.
Okay.
I
mean, this one was
Oh, and it's
fucking
got what's her name from Clueless as Batgirl.
Oh yeah, Alicia Silverstone.
Remember her?
I have no idea who that is.
You'd recognize her.
Well,
She's in
yeah.
Clueless the movie, and because there was a TV show too.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
And not much else.
Oh man, Clueless is great. Fucking young
it.
Paul Rudd,
Doesn't that
Donald
have Damon?
Faison?
Does that have Damon Wayans in it?
Donald Faison
No.
from Scrubs.
Okay. Oh really?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, he's in it?
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah, like I wrote that down because I assumed that maybe this one or one just like it was the last Batman that happened right
But
before
what
Christopher Nolan.
influenced Christopher Nolan? You're saying?
No, this did not influence Christopher Nolan. He fucking had the bravery to be like, I'm going to not do anything similar, or even like try and keep a comic book like feel to it. He just fucking went straight for realism.
Earnest. That's the word I've heard and used to describe it.
I would argue that it will never be like it was before. It will never be the Batman Forever or the Batman Returns.
I think
it will never be that again.
I've thought about
Nolan
this a lot.
Changed it permanently.
And absolutely, I think at some point there's going to be like a rally against the seriousness of Batman and comic books in general. The bubble's going to burst.
It's about to burst.
There's going to be.
It kind of already
I
is.
think it's past due time for like a '66 Batman style thing to happen, like a weird comic version of because the
similar in
'66 Batman
like Gotham
Gotham's
really
great.
outrageous
Gotham's great because it kind of is a little tongue in cheek and a little like heightened.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that movie called?
But I mean, I'm being like straight self-aware. Like basically, the '66 Batman is like we're aware how fucking goofy this is at the time. They even so.
He doesn't use guns. He throws batarangs like that. Still, like carried
Batman never
through.
uses guns.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it's goofy. That's a goofy.
Oh
thing
yeah.
for
Oh
a
yeah.
superhero to
Absolutely.
do.
Oh, I got to get rid of this bomb, and I run across town with the bomb.
Yeah.
And say
Through
like
traffic
punch
and shit.
sharks in the nose and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. But anyway.
It started as something kind of goofy, and then
and then people took it way too seriously. And now we're taking it super seriously.
Yeah.
Now is the time to be like, hey, look at yourselves taking this kid shit so fucking seriously.
I don't think.
And use Batman and fucking piss people off.
Do you mean we are
As a
taking it
culture.
seriously as a culture?
As a culture, look at all of the fucking.
If you ask me, Batman in its best form is when it's serious. Like that's the character of Batman. Like the early comics when he's.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying in order to.
It was always about like Batman to me has always been about the it's always been about corruption. It's always been about humanity not being able to like be good.
Right, exactly. But what's exactly what I'm saying. So when they should turn it on, if and when they turn it on its head to be like, look at how seriously we take all of these comic book things. Batman.
Different comics, yes, but Batman.
Just in general, I'm saying like as a culture, we're so obsessed with the shit we were when we were kids, into full on adulthood. Like we're stunted as people. So I think Batman represents exactly the opposite of what I'm saying. Like it's dark, serious, fucking the dark corners of humanity. Yeah. Blah blah blah. Using that character to take the piss out of itself, it would be the most powerful way to do that. You know, using the most serious character and then. Hey, isn't this goofy? People would be pissed. And that I would love that though. You know,
it probably all started with that Frank Miller Batman: The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight Returns.
I just looked. It came out in 1986. It was
and then Arkham Asylum came out right around after that.
Yeah.
That was dark as fuck.
Mm-hmm. And those are still awesome. And I agree with you. They like took it. They just keep going. 2 decades later.
Yeah. If you read before that shit, it was just like, I'm Batman, and I'm trapped in the mirror room, and this guy I have to solve a riddle to get out of here.
Yeah.
Until Frank Miller did that shit, like, it was kid shit.
Yeah, of course.
And until Christopher Nolan, the same way as Frank Miller, heightened it on the film level. But now it's like, where do we go from here? With Batman, it's only gotten even cooler when Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo took over with the new Court of Owls and all this cool shit.
Yeah.
But that's 20 years later, though. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We have to have perspective on this moment now. Mm-hmm. We think that people were saying the Batman in the 80s was dark as fuck with Tim Burton.
Really?
People said it's dark. Like, it was dark.
Well, it was dark because they were making visually like everything.
No. Burton was still near his prime.
Yeah, he was still dark, quote unquote dark.
That's what I mean.
And now we see, compare that to Dark Knight, it's like, that shit is kid shit. So in 20 years from now, you know, how are we going to perceive The Dark Knight? Because Batman Superman, if that movie came out in 95, people would be like, holy fuck!
Can you imagine?
This is amazing!
Yeah, there'd be
But now we have this different perspective on how the tone should be. It's like, it's still a comic book. This is kid shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I try to go into it with that perspective, like, this should only be fun. Yeah. Dark Knight was just crazy. Yeah. It's unto itself.
Yeah, it is.
It's basically a detective movie.
Yeah, it's its own fucking thing. Like Christopher Nolan, I can't praise. I think he's becoming my favorite director actually, because he really.
That's kind of like saying,
after Inception and Interstellar.
Yeah.
Those two movies really did actually cement his importance for
I've heard some negativity around Interstellar, and I don't know where it's coming
from.
I still haven't seen it.
No
I need to see
idea.
it.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan is kind of... What's the word? Is gentrifying the word? Or polarizing?
I don't know.
What do you
mean?
Polarizing.
Yeah.
Gentrifying. Sorry.
You gentrified movies.
Sorry.
I mean, he is.
I didn't mean to say that.
He is. He's making it so rich people can make movies.
I was looking for polarizing. Anyway.
Yeah.
Where there's people like me who everything he does, I'll like look at the special features and know how he made it and be like, this is the best shit being made.
I bought the Dark Knight 3-pack, and then I also bought the Dark Knight by itself because it comes with a bonus disc about the score. Like, I have 2 copies of it because I care so much about that film.
I know I'll sound like a fanboy.
Because you are. Because I am. We're on a fucking podcast about movies.
I am a fanboy about Christopher Nolan, but he does choose to shoot in film, which always looks better. It just does.
Yeah.
He shot Interstellar on film?
I'm not a big film guy.
I am a film guy. I'm an artist, but I know that's a big part of it. Shut your fucking mouth. I'm trying to give my reasons, but
so give them.
He also builds elaborate sets that no one does anymore.
Yeah.
He builds moving sets. Practical things. He uses practical effects, and he also shoots more on location than anyone else does.
I'm more impressed by him because, like I said before we recorded, he does original scripts.
Exactly. That was going to be my last point. Is he really does go for something that people just aren't really.
I will say that's like coming back though, and not
original scripts.
A lot of people don't like the movie Gravity as much, but I think Alfonso Cuarón did a really amazing job with that film. And then like Ex Machina, who I feel bad I can't remember the director of that or the writer, but that
I still haven't seen that.
Was an amazing original sci-fi script. And I mean, I'm always going to be...
Well, it was Oscar nominated, for fuck's sake.
Well, you know, science fiction's probably going to be my main genre.
Weird movies are on the come up. Like fucking The Lobster,
I just finally saw Swiss Army Man.
He told me that have
you seen it yet, Andrew?
I haven't seen it yet.
Andrew, you must see it in order for your life to be better. It's not a joke in any way. It's my favorite movie of all time.
I don't think it
really.
I've said it, and I think after I have never felt so much from a movie.
Okay.
Except for like fucking Batman, you know what I mean? That's a different feeling. You know what I mean? Yeah. But on like this movie, the whole time I was like, this is. They're speaking directly to me.
Yeah.
Like this.
I felt that way with
it's like irreverent soulfulness.
Exactly.
Like, there's so much
Mm-hmm.
Like they're being absurd while simultaneously being deeply personal,
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly that's my brand.
Yeah,
you know?
that's your brand. Yeah,
Absurd sensitivity.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I think we should probably get back to the Batman.
All right. Jeez, what can we say?
Bat cave.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
We'll get back to the Bat after this.
Well, I'm still lost, but I guess you guys will take me there.
Hey,
Batman's back.
All right,
Batman
we're back.
returns.
Back talking about Batman
nice.
Forever.
Same
Batman
bat
Forever.
time, same bat
Now,
Um,
okay. I think it's just is gonna go. There's a lot of shit wrong with this movie, but this struck me so fucking fiercely wrong that Jim Carrey talking way too much at the end about how he's gonna kill either the girl or Robin, and leaving so much fucking time. Batman's just sitting there staring. It was the most boring part of the movie I think I've ever seen.
The villain's
But-
got to give his monologue, man.
I know, but after he was done and he was about to kill one of them, Batman's like, wait, I have a riddle for you. Bad riddle, and Riddler gets it immediately, but he throws a fucking batarang at the ceiling and that just does everything in.
Yeah, and something about turning out the lights. It was like an obvious riddle where the answer is the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was so... How could it have been that easy to just throw one thing at a thing and then all of a sudden it's completely reversed?
Yeah.
That was the end of everything.
It's Batman. Deus Ex Machina, dude. Whatever.
I wrote down the ceiling, of course. Of course, the ceiling. The ceiling, of course. That's his weak point, is the ceiling.
Yeah, whatever.
How did that blow up everything? I get that.
Well,
I got that was probably where he was storing all the mines.
I can't
whatever,
believe
yeah.
this is what I'm going to say, but in the
Fuck.
Riddler's defense, he did have 2 hostages. And he probably was thinking, these 2 people Batman cares about are going to die unless he listens to me. He would be crazy to do anything
He'd be crazy
that could
to-
harm both of these people at once.
Yeah.
And then Batman does it and manages to save
And
both
because,
of these.
because
Yeah.
also he knows that he's Bruce Wayne, and Edward Nygma is obsessed with Bruce Wayne.
That's true.
So, he's so happy to get his attention finally, too.
Yeah.
That's part of his motivation, for sure.
I agree with that.
I do feel like they
But
could
the
have driven
ceiling,
home
for fuck's sake.
Riddler's extreme intelligence more.
Yeah,
Almost
yeah.
like a Dr. Manhattan, or what was the other guy?
Ozymandias.
Voight.
Ozymandias, yeah.
Yeah, what was
Ozymandias.
his- yeah.
Something. Vogel or...
Andre, yeah.
Whatever.
Anyways, like the villain in The Watchmen.
Yeah.
I love that he was just an incredibly intelligent person. That was like his most powerful asset.
Yeah.
Was
That-
being able to be one step ahead all the time.
Exactly.
If you watch Gotham, which is a pretty cool show if you're a fan of Batman
I
lore.
haven't seen it.
It's basically like alternate history of Gotham.
Okay.
It starts
Yeah,
when Bruce Wayne's like a kid.
Yeah.
And it's not canon, it's not like, but it's an alternate. It's cool. It's kind of almost like steampunky. It's weird.
Uh-huh.
But the guy they use for Edward Nygma on there, he's clearly referencing the Jim Carrey Riddler. But the way they do him, he's like, he starts out at working for Gotham Police Department, and then he loses his mind. But he's like a genius.
Oh, okay.
They at one point in the newer season, Penguin he's in jail, and he gives him that gift that's this impossible to solve
puzzle
box thing. Have you seen that one?
No, I only
that's what it is. Yeah.
watched the first episode.
But he's
I liked
he's
what they
saying
were trying to do.
it drove people insane trying to get it. He just talking to him, and he just fixes it really quick. Thanks, but whatever.
Uh-huh.
So driving home that he's a fucking genius. Anyway.
Would you say that you were talking about earlier that whatever sci-fi is your favorite genre, or whatever?
Yeah, I try to branch out, but I feel like I always come back. I feel like science fiction is like a venue to explore much more interesting ideas than most other.
Yeah. It's like the open.
I'm more
open.
concerned with the future than the past, I'd say.
Well, yeah. I think I'm more concerned. I'm more interested in the past for some weird reason, but I obviously more concerned about the future. But would you say that this Batman or this style of Batman is sci-fi? Because there's
It's
so
bad
much
sci-fi.
Yeah, bad sci-fi. Okay, that's a good way.
But yeah, this is sci-fi with the Riddler stuff. That's for sure.
I was just about to say,
It's funny that
especially the
it's
way Gotham looks
categorized
too.
on IMDb, and IMDb does this a lot. They use the fantasy tag But it's obviously just like
fantasy.
bad sci-fi. It's like sci-fi without a lot of science.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
call this.
yeah,
I wouldn't call this fantasy. When
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
fantasy,
You
I'm
described
instantly
it as fantasy in your quiz, though.
because that's probably what they said on IMDb.
Yeah, you're right.
But I wouldn't. When I'm thinking fantasy, instantly the image in my head is like a forest nymph,
Lord of the Rings, yeah.
like with a flower crown flying. That's fantasy. Yeah,
Lord of the
old.
Rings, yeah.
Fantasy means old. Sci-fi means future in my mind.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. If
Or
people
like
start trying to read
old, quote unquote, like horses and castles and wizards. That's fantasy.
Well, there was a name for that, wasn't there? Like those old tales had
High
like,
fantasy or...
it's getting close to that, but there was like all those old tales have like are in
Like-
a category of
Parables?
yeah,
Or fables. Or
fables. That's the word.
Sure,
Fables.
fables,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Fables are
That's what I
they're
was looking for.
usually short stories that are meant to teach a lesson.
Yeah,
like
with
O.
like a-
Henry told fables that all had.
Could be modern fables
Yeah,
that were
yeah.
just like modern.
There's usually some bit of irony where someone did something they thought
Yeah.
would
What was
But
it?
that's a distinct part of those tales is the lesson learning part
Yeah.
of it too, or like the poetic justice.
bigger
at the end.
metaphor.
Sci-fi definitely doesn't always do it. They do it sometimes,
Yeah.
but most of the times it's just about like exploring some new avenue. Of,
Well,
like,
usually
There's
sci-fi
usually
is
not a general
parallels
structure.
to modern issues.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like how,
Yeah.
especially like, you know, and now horror. I feel like zombie movies, for example,
Yeah.
they're big in the zeitgeist. Well, not as much as they were, but like that used to be like a you know, talking about race. The OG, like, George Romero zombie movies
Yeah.
were heavy clearly talking about race and social structures and
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, zombies, it's like a pretty clear metaphor for what these people
I
are.
had a really cool writing teacher in high school that showed us that Night of the Living Dead, the original,
It's a great movie.
and we had to like review it and talk about what we thought of it.
It's like
Oh,
right
shit.
right from the beginning.
It's really.
Here we are.
It's definitely there's some bad acting, there's bad special effects, but you can see like it is an incredible movie and did
It's
so
important.
much.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a black dude that's not just there for like
Yeah,
no
who
reason,
is the hero.
and with a white woman,
Yeah.
and like they're killing zombies from the jump.
From the
like
jump.
that movie.
Way to go,
so
George.
good. Yeah, well, but that was
Way
his
to
whole
go.
thing. Like
Yeah.
he was like there
I
was a
feel like the-
black lead in almost all of his
Yeah.
movies.
Really?
I feel like they sort of lost track toward the end.
Now it's just
the
like-
one with like the zombie baby in the mall. Do
Well,
you know that one?
yeah,
It's
but
like
that's
come
the
on.
Dawn
That
of the
was
Dead.
that was Dawn of the Dead.
That was the remake. That's Zack Snyder.
Oh,
That
really?
movie's
That
fucking
was Zack
awesome.
Snyder?
That was one of his first big movies. Yeah,
I thought it was
Ving Rhames. Ving Rhames. Dude.
I know.
The part
Actually,
where they're shooting all the celebrity zombies.
I was just about to say,
Awesome.
out of all the zombie movies, that one is like really stand out because
Yeah.
that was I think the bridge from past zombies to what
That
zombies
was
are
definitely-
now.
yeah, that
and
28 days later.
They took like
28 Days Later is awesome.
it is,
Yeah.
but that scene, I thought that was good. Besides zombie movies aside, I thought that was a cool movie making. Or a cool plot thing that
Yeah.
there's this guy across
Well, that's
this
in
way that
the
they're
original
just,
one, too.
They're talking to. I haven't seen the original one, so I can't.
It's
really,
pretty close to the movie.
pretty close.
But yeah, that's like
I thought it was. I don't know why. Then I should be talking about the original one if they did exactly the same as the original.
it's not exactly the same. No.
Okay, well-
but the
well-
tone in the Dawn of the Dead with the opening fucking Richard Cheese song, like the Down with the Sickness, or that's like at the trailer or whatever. There's a lot of tongue in cheek shit going on,
There
which
is,
is
yeah.
necessary.
Yeah.
And that's what was going on before too.
So,
anyway,
I thought
Batman.
it was cool.
Batman.
I thought it was cool. Yeah. Anyway, Batman.
Reading through the trivia, one of the more interesting things I found was that the riddles were written by a guy named Will Shortz, who is known as the Puzzle Master
Nice.
and editor of the New York Times crossword.
Ooh, cool.
There's an exterior shot of the Riddler's apartment, which revealed a lit-up business sign that was designed to look like a crossword puzzle. And also, when he's going through outfits, like trying to decide on a costume, one of them, I think he even calls himself the Puzzle Master, and he's wearing like a crossword puzzle.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like such a cool inclusion that they were like, well, this is the guy that made our riddles for the script. Let's
Yeah.
Cool.
a nod to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, the part, I don't have it in my notes right now, but I remember it, the part of the movie I really liked were the riddles that Batman would get and the way those cards were designed, where like it was Batman's face and then you pull it down and it like has this giant mouth and like all the words are inside the mouth. I thought that was so fucking cool.
Yeah, super. I mean, that's always been the style of the fucking riddles. So rad. Like it's like a thing.
Because it's still a joke. It's like really interesting, but like it was also like well designed.
Yeah,
it's just like
because he is still like a genius, like engineer. Or
I was
whatever.
like, that was dope. I didn't expect that.
Yeah,
it was really cool though.
All right.
Yeah. More
notes.
I
have a note that says, "Funny to see old things reused, tunnel chase, etc." Like those are the first ones that shot it. That's like something to say about these movies. I feel like these are the first Batman movies to have that very specific low angle with the fucking car chases and in the tunnels, and that like if you see the car chases in the tunnel and look at the ones in Dark Knight movies, like it's pretty fucking close. Like they didn't have that same like go-kart camera situation, but there was some like gimbal happening, you know. But you're right, gimbal like or whatever, you know, where they got to a specific angle and those tunnels, you know what I mean? Like that was like one thing that was like clearly something
that's pretty cool.
An important thing. There are good things that have still been applied to the universe. From this pile of shit.
That's very true. Yeah.
I mean, Robin has an earring, so
pretty cool. Rebel. He's clearly a rebel.
That's really cool.
Is
that's how you know he rides a motorcycle.
Yeah.
He's a fucking gymnast.
I was about to say. I think out of all the Robin ideas, this one, maybe Christopher Nolan's Robin is still cooler, but like
I thought what that Robin isn't even fucking Robin.
I actually like that because I think it's more that fit his tone more than any other Robin could have, and I think it was cool.
Are you talking about Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah,
I wish they wouldn't. The only thing I just wish when he went to the office and they're like,
they would have said Robin.
You should have go by your real name, Robin.
Yeah, because it's like
I wish they would have been
top,
like, don't include that. And this guy is just the next Batman. Like that's cool. Just take that fucking scene out.
And we can call him Robin ourselves, but he doesn't have.
But he's not even Robin. He's just the next Batman.
Yeah, and Robin's name isn't Robin, it's Richard.
Or Tim or Damien, depending on what fucking... Anyway.
No, I agree at that moment when they said Robin in Dark Knight Rises. It was just like...
I was fuck you. Like, what a heavy-handed bullshit.
It was heavy-handed.
The only problem with the Dark Knight trilogy is in that movie. It's that scene, and at the end, where Alfred goes to the restaurant and sees Bruce, and he's like, whatever. I wish they would have just... shown Alfred's reaction and Inception that shit and just boom.
Inception. That's what I was just thinking.
You're right. I wish
would have been a way heavier.
No, the worst part of that is the villain Ra's al Ghul's daughter. Whatever. What's her name?
Oh, Talia.
Talia. Like that was the dumbest thing. Marion Cotillard's
You're right. You know what?
It was dumb in that, but in the
it was
canon. It's like an important thing, but they did it weird.
They did it poorly. I think they didn't pull that off.
I think that's the way. That's the right word.
But even still, that movie's fucking great.
I love that movie.
Did you know that bats really aren't rodents? They have an order all their own, more closely related to primates like lemurs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I can believe that.
Yeah, they're mammals. So.
I can definitely believe that. Especially the fruit bats. They look like fucking mammals. The ones
cute,
that aren't snub nosed,
like
the ones that have
honestly,
snouts.
my little black dog, I often think he looks like a wingless fruit bat.
You should get him a little bat costume for Halloween.
Oh man!
Man. You're welcome.
Just like bat wings,
or like a vampire cape.
I could even attach them to his harness.
There you go. Yeah.
Motherfucker.
There you go,
That's
buddy.
A great idea.
You're welcome. All right. I have an ambiguous note that just says in quotation marks "now!" exclamation point. And I don't remember what that was a reference to. That's a quote from the movie where somebody says "now." And like it's like a
probably Two-Face or something.
I don't know. Anyway, apparently that
did
sucks.
Robin do anything useful? Apart
He
from
saved Batman.
He got captured. No, he didn't save Batman.
No, he did.
Oh, so he saves Batman in the next one.
Before he's Robin, he does get the bomb out of the circus and like into the river.
Yeah.
But does he
fights some goons, lies about being Batman.
Is there anything like in the final showdown on the island with Robin, Batman, the Riddler, and Two-Face?
He gets captured immediately. Right?
He doesn't do anything useful.
Yeah, he gets captured like that.
Yeah.
It's just like I remember watching. I was like, wait, I wasn't paying attention at the end, I looked back and he's in a tube. I was like, how the fuck did that happen?
I think the idea is that, like, he was a stubborn, like, I'm gonna do what I want, and then look what happens when you're just being a shithead. You get caught. Then the next movie is him, like, really coming into his own. That's what the intention was. I feel like.
Well, I feel like they left something out because they mentioned how they should approach the island from two sides. The plane and the boat.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right.
But they're together at some point.
Well, then his boat gets blown up, he ejects, and he gets to the island anyways. Yeah. But they could have included something that's like, you provided just enough distraction for Batman to fly under the radar of the anti-aircraft guns.
Maybe it's like got a invisibility cloak on it. Or something like that.
That's too easy. That's too easy.
There's
no like tension if he can just do whatever he wants.
There's no tension in this movie.
No, there isn't
whatsoever.
Right. Yeah.
If you think Batman might lose at the beginning of this movie, just turn it off. You don't need to be watching it.
Yeah, you're right. That was another one of my notes. He doesn't care about anyone or anything for the first 20 minutes. It just gets like when he's Batman, he's like, is the bank being robbed? Okay.
Yeah. He's Val Kilmer is a very monotonal actor.
It's fucking terrible. And then when he's Bruce Wayne, he's walking through his own company, just like, okay, that's cool. Yeah.
He's very disassociating.
Yeah, it's just like, this is so boring to see. It's just a dude who doesn't give a fuck about anything.
He's like Steve Jobs, except not as cool. He's got the turtleneck though.
He does have the turtleneck. You're right.
True.
Turtlenecks are really cool.
And people need to bring
They're
back
practical
turtlenecks
in the winter, and everyone gives me shit when I wear one.
I
really wear turtlenecks?
I have one that's kind of a turtleneck, and it's my favorite feeling shirt. It is the most comfortable shirt.
I've never been like,
I can't wear it
you know what's cold on my body? My fucking neck. You know what would be better? A shirt with a longer neck.
Yeah.
I've never felt like that in my life.
Oh, you've never felt like that?
I had a mock turtleneck when I was in middle school.
It's
not the zip-up kind.
It's not so much indoors.
And they were just I felt like being choked.
It's not so much.
Just uncomfortable.
No, my turtleneck, it doesn't have a zipper. It's just
I know,
cashmere.
That's even worse.
Don't you think that term is a little insulting to turtles? I mean, they don't even look that bad.
That's true.
No, turtles. No, I think they call them turtlenecks because they used to. That's exactly where they would kill turtles to eat them. Is right at the neck.
Right at the head.
And they turn into a turtleneck. That's what a turtleneck is.
They rip out the neck part and they wear it as a dickie.
Right.
Just under their clothes.
Right. Because turtle skin is really elastic.
Yeah.
People don't know that.
That's why the first condoms were called turtles.
They were.
Turtle heads, yeah.
Turtle head condoms.
Yeah, it's also
turtle head brand.
Turtle helmets. No,
that's a turtle helmet. A turtle head is a lump of shit that's sneaking out of your butthole.
So,
in my mind.
Yeah.
So what do we rate Batman Forever?
I give it a. It's an Andrew, right?
If you hate it.
Yeah.
Hate it, love it.
And I think it's going to be an Andrew.
Yeah, I give it an
I was close to giving it a Michael.
What?
Because it was kind of fun to, I have two tiers of movies. Movies that are fun to watch.
Yeah.
That I watch over and over. And then my favorite movies that are usually kind of depressing and I don't watch often. But I think they're the best movies.
Yeah, yeah.
This one was almost fun to watch, but was so bad.
Yeah.
I have to rate it an Andrew.
I'm going to give it a Michael because it holds such a dear place to me.
Oh, I know.
And it's one of those movies.
You did pick it first.
It's one of those movies that it sucks, but I would rather watch this than other sucky movies. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's still Batman.
Yeah.
I'm that looks. I can just look at a picture of Batman and that's so cool, man. Just
cool.
Some of those
you
things.
actually have a Batman cape hung on your wall.
I do. It's from when I was a little baby boy.
That's awesome.
I have the
little baby,
the cowl and the gauntlets and the belt and everything.
Little baby.
They're just so small.
Here's a question for you: when was the youngest you knew Batman was cool? Was it like
no?
Was it like 4 or 5?
I thought Blank Man was cool.
Blank Man is a great movie. Damon Wayans. There wasn't a time where I didn't think Batman was cool because my brother liked Batman.
Oh, so
from birth.
I see.
From birth. Same with the Cubs. Same with the Chicago Cubs. There wasn't a time where it wasn't a part of
your
my shit. Oh wow, this is tight. What is this
That was something my dad gave me when I was a kid. He had this hardback collection of Batman comics.
It's just like the old school ones. This is tight.
That's cool as fuck.
I remember him telling me there's one in there where you meet Bat Dog, and I was
gotta
find that.
It's probably probably the greatest character ever in Batman mythos is fucking in here. Batmite, who was like a real character. In the older comics, he's basically he's right here. It's funny. I flipped to him right here. He's a little guy. He's like basically like
Batmite. What?
Right here,
He looks like
one of my favorite characters. He's basically like what's his name? Kazoo from the Flintstones.
I was about to say.
He's basically Kazoo from the Flintstones. But
what is he? Is he a little boy or is he
he's
a
like
small
he's
man?
like a creature.
He's a fucking agent of
Kazoo.
chaos.
He's
That's
like
who he is.
exactly. He's an agent of chaos. He can appear and reappear.
Look at that.
He can control like the universe basically.
Wow.
This is so
But
fucking
in this,
cool.
he's just ridiculous. But later on, Batman is like losing his mind in like the later comics, and he's like hallucinating Batmite. But so it makes him canon. That way, he's like a ridiculous character, but he does exist in Batman's mind,
head,
and the whole time he's been like in his mind.
That's so fucking.
And it's like a mind fuck. He's
I
one
had
of
no
my
idea
favorite
that
characters.
existed.
Holy shit!
I learned something completely new about Batman.
There's so many cool random weirdos. I like the cool thing about Batman is like the canon or the universe is so malleable because you can say whatever because it's comics.
Yeah.
But then I love when they bring ridiculous elements from the old Golden Age and Silver Age shit and bring it into the new and make it so like no, it's real.
Yeah,
and
like
explain it how it's real.
Give it a place. Really.
And it's like, oh, Batman's fucking delusional. That's why he sees this thing that he sees an image of himself, kind of.
Yeah.
And there's another version Grant Morrison wrote, like he's like an interdimensional being, which you can buy because Grant Morrison is like, he's like heavy. I don't know if you've read Grant Morrison stuff.
I don't think I have.
He's great. You would like Grant Morrison books.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, before we really get to the quiz, please follow us on Instagram and give us a rating on iTunes. We really appreciate that. Tell your friends about us. We don't pay for advertising, as you would probably assume.
Yeah.
So
we all have jobs.
Our only advertisement is Gerald Sandwiches. They're really our only sponsor.
Try their sourdough.
Yeah, try the. I don't know. Here we'll do a plug for Gerald Sandwiches. You know,
a plug finally.
We'll do a plug for. We'll do a sponsor for Gerald Sandwiches.
He wouldn't be
Gerald.
happy.
Hey,
he wouldn't be
Gerald
happy.
Sandwiches. Listen, where the sandwiches.
New slogan. Gerald Sandwiches. Gerald Sandwiches. It's like Applebee's.
It's like Applebee's.
Come on down to Gerald Sandwiches.
It's like Applebee's but worse.
No, you can't.
You can't say that.
Like,
you can't say that.
Oh, sorry.
He's
not going to listen, but it's fine.
All right.
Okay.
All right, I guess we should go on to the quiz.
Yeah, let's get this quiz.
Jesus Christ.
How'd your kids? It's time for the quiz.
All right, so we had a bit of an issue. I wrote a quiz, and Andrew saw what it was on my computer because Google Chrome, in its infinite wisdom, reopened the window that I had closed.
But let's be serious. Who was going to win this anyway?
So this is what we're going to do.
I would have.
I'm going to set a 2-minute timer.
Okay.
And
you can't be slow with the quiz. With the
well,
since I'm not guessing,
this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to give you the big hint before the timer even starts, and then I'll just give you more as time goes on.
All right.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay.
So I've got it set to make noise, and I'm just going to turn it on so you can see.
Okay.
Let me get my quiz out. So if Drew gets this, he gets to pick it. If he doesn't get it, Andrew gets to pick it.
De facto gets it.
Yay.
Okay. Are we ready?
Big quiz.
I'm ready.
Big clue before the press.
All right. This is one big daddy of a movie. Most likely, this will be the longest film we have conquered so far, coming in at almost 3 hours.
Alexander.
And we are off. I'm going to wait, I don't know,
Alexander.
10 seconds or so before I give you another
Big
one.
daddy of a movie.
I won't say it.
Eight-legged freaks.
3 hours.
That's a good guess.
Big daddy. I don't
3
know.
hours long.
3 hours. There will be blood. The Shining.
Give me another clue.
Give me
A
another clue.
film we have talked about, although none of us have seen it.
That's not true. I've seen it.
Oh, Andrew's seen it.
Not Brazil.
It came out in the 70s.
Citizen Kane.
That should be a clue, actually.
Much older than the 70s, I think.
70s. Oh yeah. 70s. Taxi Driver.
If I've seen it, that should be a clue because I only see pretty straightforward movies.
Big daddy of a movie. That's a clue.
It disappeared.
The director is a highly regarded director with 3 names.
Oh. Francis Ford, The Godfather.
Fuck!
Hey.
Damn it! You.
right.
Big Daddy.
Oh,
Nice. Sweet. I'm hyped.
You did it. Yeah, I love The Godfather.
Okay.
They have the.
You think that was too easy? What do you think?
No, I mean he just got it. Like he deserved it.
That
but
the
still.
name Francis Ford Coppola.
For that clue.
There's only like a
he could
few
not
that have three
I was about to
names.
say he was gonna get it right there.
Nice.
I didn't know if you would know Francis Ford Coppola directed the
I know who made
You know,
stuff.
I almost used this clue, but it seemed too mean because it's a red herring. This director is the same one as the '96 film Jack, starring Robin Williams, about a boy who grows at 5 times normal speed.
Francis Ford Coppola directed that?
Yeah, he
Whoa!
did.
I had
serious?
no idea.
No.
Yeah.
Shit. Is
I remember that movie being awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's
think
aged well, if you get what I'm saying.
Wait, Benjamin Button. No. All right. Wow.
Yeah. I honestly,
man.
Is this
just
on-
last night I was like, I'm gonna fucking watch The Godfather instead of this movie and just say I watched it. I'm not kidding. I was considering it.
I've
because
never seen it, and I'm excited
Yeah,
to.
good.
You are, and you haven't seen it either.
No.
Yeah.
You guys
It's
are
on the
so.
list. It's the one of those movies. It's like I
kind of want you guys
why.
to go out and buy a DVD of it because it's so fucking.
Bitch, don't tell me what to buy.
I'll buy one for you. How about that? Because I want a copy.
I'll get it from the library or something.
Okay.
Why?
I'm gonna
Because,
buy
like,
my own copy.
special
actually.
features or
I actually do want to watch that special features. I haven't seen it yet. They probably don't have special features. Actually, probably just like a
Really?
documentary.
There's
No,
probably
I'm
a
like
short
they'll have a
documentary.
documentary style because back then they didn't make special
Francis
features.
Ford Coppola did, dude. Have you seen the fucking?
There weren't DVDs or fucking VHSs for that to be.
Dude, have you seen what's it called? The Apocalypse Now. There's a whole documentary.
Documentary. That's what I'm saying. Documentary, not special
Yeah.
features.
But it's
Heart
still,
of Darkness.
it's still, Heart of Darkness. Awesome. I've never seen Apocalypse Now, but I've seen Heart of Darkness.
I've seen Apocalypse.
And The
Now.
Shining behind the scenes. There's a whole doc. If you get the Shining DVD, there's a documentary. Awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but
Seeing what's her name like start to break down during a scene, like he's like, "No, you gotta fucking do it." She's like crying legit during the scene when she's like,
yeah.
and when he's locked in the freezer or something.
Yeah.
Awesome. Go watch that shit.
Damn. But
Anyway. Cool.
yeah,
Cool.
The Godfather is such a good fucking movie.
We'll be back in 2 weeks. With
I
The
predict
Godfather.
3 Drews for that.
As always, our episodes go up every other Saturday.
Ish.
Saturday, yeah. We'll try to. I'm gonna try and get them up in the morning, middle of the night.
You could time them.
That's what I'm gonna start doing.
Just start doing them, get it done, and then just
middle
put it on lock.
Yeah, it's gonna come on Saturday at
Like 3 in the
midnight,
morning
yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Any last words?
Don't kill me.
Huh?
Please don't kill me.
Who?
You said any last words?
Oh. Yep. I poisoned your water.
It's the handful of movies. Hey, club of movies. Yeah, movies. Club of movies.
All right. Have a good week.
Try to have a good.
Try to have it good.